Extremely sorry, I was also connected. This is this change in the monetary policy. Since we are going step by step, and we learned so many, I mean, few concepts in this macroeconomics. And last class, I tried to connect if any authority, and you know, if you divide the economy, the whole economy you can divide, so you will get three macroeconomic policy. Remember, if you divide your economy, all the policies, if you categorized, so you can get three macroeconomic policies, or you can say macroeconomic policies. Okay, so one is your monetary policy, second is your fiscal policy, and third one is your trade policy. So basically these are the pillars of economy. So economy is managed by using these three macroeconomic policy. One is known as monetary policy, which is formulated and implemented by central bank of that particular country, like RBI in India. Fiscal policy is formulated and implemented by government of that country, like government of India in India. And trade policy is also formulated and implemented by the government of that country, and in India, like it's the government of India. Okay, so these three policies are there. Monetary policy is related to the demand, the supply of money. Fiscal policy is related to expenditure of the government and receipts of the government, particularly taxes of the government, which includes your direct tax and indirect tax. That I discussed with you earlier. Trade policy, yes, it's related to exports and imports of the country, the foreign direct foreign capital, outflow of foreign capital, inflow of foreign capital, which includes your FDI, FPI. Okay, so these all are related to your trade policy. Okay, so these three policies are there, and if you are able to understand and you are able to connect it, how these are connected, and changing one of the variable, how it is going to affect the overall country. That in the last class we have discussed with you, if central bank is changing the policy rates, and yesterday I discussed the three types of rates: policy rate or policy rate of interest, second market rate of interest or lending rate of interest, third is your deposit rate of interest. So policy rate already I discussed here. It is the rate of interest at which transaction is going on between the central bank and the banks and other financial institutions. Like take the example of India, it's like the bank rate, the repo rate, reverse repo rate, MSF, these are known as the policy rates. Okay. Second, I discussed yesterday, that is a market rate of interest or lending rate of interest. It is the rate of interest at which the banks give us loans, or we are, or borrowers, we are the borrowers, so we are borrowing money from bank at that rate of interest, and it is known as the market rate of interest or lending rate of interest. We also deposit money with banks, and banks give us interest on our deposited money. So that rate of interest is known as the deposit rate of interest. Fine. So we have seen that yesterday, if central bank under the monetary policy is going to change any policy rates. Okay, so this policy rate, suppose they are decreasing the policy rate. So decrease in policy rate, I will discuss you in the monetary policy, monetary systems. In the moment the central bank is decreasing the policy rate, it is going to decrease the market rate of interest or lending rate of interest. It is going to decrease, which is known as the, if you are reading the newspaper, you are getting that easing of monetary policy. When you are getting a term easing of monetary policy, you just mean that the central bank is trying to inject the more liquidity in the country through different policy instruments. Okay, and one of the policy instruments is the policy rates. They can cut down policy rates so that banks can borrow more amount from RBI and can inject more liquidity in the country. So ultimately, the rate of interest or market rate of interest is going to decrease. Now, go back to the last class. We have discussed with you, if you connect between the or establish the relationship between the investment and rate of interest. When you are saying rate of interest, it is the market rate of interest. Rate of interest, then you are getting a inverse relationship between the investment and rate of interest. So when you are trying to put your investment functions, so you know we have written, yes, I mean in class, I, which is known as the investments, I, which is a function of market rate of interest, I, small I, and you have seen that if small I is going up or it increases, then investment is going to decrease, and if I is going to decrease, then investment will go up when other things remaining same. Okay, so if you draw this investment function as in the diagram like this, so if you measure the rate of interest here, which is market rate of interest, and here is the investment, so you are going to get a downward sloping curve, and which is known as the investment curve. So this curve says that if rate of interest is say I1, so your investment will be I1 amount. If interest rate of interest is decreasing from I1 to I2, so your investment will go up from capital I1 to capital I2. So this relationship, what the functional relationship you are saying, that the same thing you can put in the diagram, and you're getting a downward sloping investment curve. Definitely it is, as I discussed with you, it is the induced investment, but normally you can say only investment. The people can understand here you are talking about that. So here you are getting investment and rate of interest are inversely related. So if there is a falling rate of interest, that is a market rate of interest, investment is going up. And if there is an increase in interest rate, the investment is just decreasing. And autonomous investment, I already discussed with you. If you take the autonomous investments, like investment is here, I investment here, and take rate of interest here. So autonomous investment will be look like this, I bar, because that's I discussed with you. Okay, the autonomous investment, it does not depend on any factor or the rate of interest. So if you want to draw autonomous, you can just draw like this, and normal used, so it is the downward sloping investments curve. So what you are getting here, okay, policy rate RBI is going to decrease, so market rate of interest is going to decrease. So if there is a falling rate of market rate of interest, then its impact, you can see that okay, the investment is going up. And if investment is increasing, then you are knowing that Investment is a component of aggregate demand. So aggregate demand for goods and services in the country will go up. And you are knowing that Keynes theory, the production is depending on aggregate demand. And if there is an increase in aggregate demand, then there is increase in output. And you are knowing that employment, which depends on level of productions, if output is going to increase, your employment may go up. So in this way, you can establish yes, changing in one of the factor can affect, or in one of the instruments in the country can affect the whole country. Okay, so it's fine. Now I'm going to next topic. So in earlier class, in simple Keynesian model, we discussed with you.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
so could you please show that hierarchy, sir, that you drew that side?
This one.
Yes, sir.
So I should say it's this relationship, or you are just okay.
So it's okay, sir. I'm just drawing that.
Okay, just write it. It's just relationship. That's a step by step. You are relating that. Yes, if change in one of the variable, how it is going to affect the next, and that is how is going to affect the next, like this. And even if there is an increase in output, and I discussed with you in macroeconomics, output is also, it represents income. So increase in income also going to increase your saving, because saving is the function of income also. So you are able to relate this the whole macroeconomic variables here. I mean this one. Clear? Fine. Okay, now come here. So in the last class, we have discussed with you, since aggregate demand, which is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M, and it is also known as the four sector model, because there's four sectors are there. One is the household, second is the investors, third is the government, four is the external sector. So it is known as the four sectors model. So I discussed with you earlier, if you assume closed economy, so this X minus M, this part will be not be there. And if you assume there is no government, there is no government means, so government is there is a for the government is not participating in this. Okay, so there is no role of the government. So if there is no role of the government, so G is also 0. So now aggregate demand, in this way you can consider, you can say C plus I. And we have taken here the autonomous investment, say I bar. So aggregate demand equal to C plus I bar. Okay. So in simple cases model, we will take like this. Later on, we will just change it from I bar with replace I bar with the I is a function of R. Later on, not at this moment. Okay, we are going in this way. And you are knowing that key aggregate supply is nothing but it is the total output Y which economy is producing. And as per Keynes, we have discussed that the aggregate demand will decide the level of output. So at equilibrium, your aggregate supply must be equal to aggregate demand. So Y was equal to C plus I bar. And also I discussed, since Y is your income, so from this income you can consume and you can save. So now this is the equation 1, and you can say equation 2. So from equation 1 and 2 you can write C plus S equal to C plus I bar. C cancel out, you are getting saving equal to investment. Okay, so I think this concept already I discussed with you, not by equation way, also through the diagram. We just drawn this saving curve. We have taken the investment curve, and two diagrams. One is the 45-degree line, then your aggregate. You remember these things? Okay, so this y equal to AD, this line I also discussed, that I represented by using the 45-degree line, and below than that we have also explained saving equal to investment. So it is in two sectors model. And one statement I given you in the way when I was discussing this concept, simple Keynesian model, कि at equilibrium, saving must be equal to investment. Okay, if at any point, if saving is not equal to investments, you mean that the economy is not at equilibrium. If saving is more than investments, you can say supply is more than aggregate demand. If investment is more than saving, then you can say aggregate demand is more than supply. Okay, then we have discussed कि yes, after a market mechanism, it will come back to the equilibrium point. Okay, it will come back to the equilibrium point. Okay, but for equilibrium point, we have assumed that conditions should be your MPC must be greater than 0 and must be less than 1. Then only you can get the stable equilibrium point. So this part already I discussed. Now, just tell me if the same concept that I discussed with you at equilibrium, saving must be equal to investments, is it applicable or is it true also in the case of three sectors model? In three sectors model, when you're talking about, then you are including the government. Okay, so in three sectors model, when you just consider the government, so aggregate demand is equal to C plus I bar plus G. So still it is a closed economy. Okay, but the government is there. Three sectors model. So if you take aggregate demand equal to C plus I bar plus G, okay, so aggregate demand and aggregate supply equal to Y, then please tell me in this condition also there will be saving must be equal to investment. Abhishek?
So mostly no, because that time autonomous consumption will come up. Sorry, autonomous investments will come up.
सोच कर देख ऐसे मत बोल. Think about it. Are you getting my questions, all of you? Are you getting my questions? What I'm trying to ask you? I'm simply asking you, in simple Keynesian model, we have seen that at equilibrium, saving must be equal to investment. We have seen that saving must be equal to investments. I am simply asking that if you extend this model from two sectors model or simple Keynesian model to three sectors model, we are considering the government. Okay. So if you consider the government or three sectors model, still these conditions will be applicable that at equilibrium saving is will be equal to investments. Aman,
Yes, sir.
tell me.
Sir, I think so because the G in our model it represents a part of consumption and a part of investment only. So that G would bifurcate again into consumption and investment, and hence saving would be equal to investment.
See, you people
Hello.
are just reading or not your the reading the books you have. Suppose we are just started moving, but have you just going through your chapters or not? Can you calculate and show me saving equal to investments? Aman, Abhishek, and all of you. The way we calculated in simple Keynesian model, at equilibrium saving must be equal to investment. Can you just bring? Can you come at these conclusions by the same way in three sectors model? Do that, everyone. Please try. Please try, all of you. Aswin,
Yes, sir.
please try.
Yes, sir. Trying.
So,
Hmm.
so we can bifurcate the G means government into consumption expenditure also and investment expenditure also done by the government. So in that case, so
See. When you have taken IBAR, when already you separately you have taken IBAR, so
so
it is the
got it.
overall. It is the overall economy, now. It's not for a particular things. So IBAR maybe if government invested, so it is a part of IBAR. Already I discussed your autonomous investments or majority of the autonomous investment is generally done by the government.
So so C and G will represent consumption by household, that is C, and the
Mhm.
consumption by made by the government, that will be
Mhm.
G. And so when we'll see Y equals to C plus S means consumption and saving, so it will initially equate it to uh, so it will get the same thing, S equals to I.
No. Please try again. Go very systematic way. Don't jump it. Don't jump it. C is the consumption of households only. So you cannot equate both. Here C is also the same thing what is representing in the case of Y. We have written Y equal to C plus S. Here C is the same as that C where AD equal to C plus I bar. But the moment you are just adding G as a consumption of the for the government, it means that it cannot be equal to the C of the left side when there's a Y side of C, that is income side of C.
Sir, it would not be equal. The savings and investment would not be equal.
Bhavya Gupta, she left class today. Vansika,
Yes, sir.
बोलो क्या होगा?
I don't think they will be equal.
हाँ,
I don't think they will be equal.
थोड़ा सा लाउडर बोलो ना, थोड़ा सा कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स है आज कनेक्शन में.
Sir, I don't think S and I would be equal.
You don't think saving will be equal to investments.
Yes.
Okay. अभिषेक यही बोलना चाह रहे हो?
So earlier I thought the same, but I don't know.
यार ऐसे मत क्या तुम लोग नोटिस कर दे.
Sir, can I try?
Just yeah, you tell me.
So if we equate AD and ASO, we will arrive at Y is equal to C plus I plus G,
Y
and
equal to
C plus autonomous investment plus G.
yeah,
And if we take the variables of C and G towards left hand side, that is Y minus C minus G
Y minus C minus G.
equal to autonomous investment, what we
Yeah.
find is Y is income and C and G are expenditure. So
Hmm.
indirectly we have found savings on left hand side and we have investment right hand side.
Good attempt, but it will not like this, dear. Okay, you have to go through you have to just buy first of all you decompose the Y. So just check everyone. I'm not getting considering this line, but here is okay. So what you're trying to say basically, at equilibrium, your aggregate supply must be equal to aggregate demand. So aggregate supply means total production, so which is equal to Y, that's already written, and aggregate demand equal to C plus I bar plus G. But if you assume Y is your income, so in this case, what you was doing with the income? If suppose economy earned income, think about it. You are the policy makers and you are thinking that the economy say earned some amount. So the moment you are saying economy earned the some amount, so who earned the income?
Sir, all three sectors, I guess.
All four
Consumption and
persons. No, no,
saving.
no, no. See, just why the three methods of calculation of national income accounting we are discussing, and it is the way we are following. So when you're discussing about the income generated in the country, so simply you can get it, yes, income generated by the all the laborers, all the entrepreneurs, all the, I mean, the your landowners and the capitalists. They are basically earning, no? Okay. So it means that they are earning it. So if economy earns some amount, but government not earn, generally, if you take the overall country, then government is not producing any goods and services. They are the maintaining the expenditure. They're spending the money, and their source of income or their source of funding of their expenditure is the taxes. They are getting a part of income which is generated in the country, okay, in the form of taxes. If you take the developed country, very little services, very little producing, very many one two sectors you can just think about, they are basically under the government, but they are the basically autonomous body. They are behaving just like entrepreneurs, the producers. If you think about the pure government, so government is spending the money, which is G is the expenditure of the government, but generally this expenditure is funding by the taxes imposed by the government, and this is the main source of money for the government, okay, to fund their expenditure. So you have to think about that in that way. So in simple Keynesian model, you assume there is no government, so there was no concept of tax. So how much you earn, how much economy earned, they are only consuming and they're only saving. Yes, dear, some people, they are saving in the economy, but this saving amount is used by the others for investment. Okay, it is also true that. But here, if you take the government as the third sector or third part, I mean, three part here, the three sectors model where you assume the government. So the moment you assume the government, so out of income Y, one part you are consuming, same like that the earlier, one part you are saving, true, one part you are paying the taxes, T. Check, am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
When you considered no government, so there is no concept of taxes. So whatever income earned by the country or generated in the country, the total income either you are consuming or you are saving. So consumption plus saving is equal to income of the country. But the moment you consider the government is there, so the moment government is there, government is going to spend the money in the defense sector, for public administration, for infrastructure development, for health services, for education services, so many. Just think about from where they are funding it. So government is funding their expenditure through taxes. So it means whatever now you are earning in three sectors model, one part you are consuming, one part you are saving, but one part you are also paying as a taxes. Then if you add C plus S plus T, then it is going to be equal to your income. You heard about the TDS, taxes deducted at source. So TDS, if you take the example, so any person who is working, they are receiving income after deduction of taxes. Even corporate sector, they are earning, but they are paying the corporate taxes. Capitalists, they are earning, they are paying the income tax. So this is the way they are paying it. So in this way we can write. So here y equal to C plus S plus T. Now you just put here the value of y. Then you are getting C plus S plus T, which is equal to C plus I bar plus G. Now here you can cancel out C with C, and left is S plus T plus I bar plus G. Am I right? But still you are not getting saving is equal to investment. So what you can do next? But it is true that even in the three sectors model, even it is true that in three sectors model, saving must be equal to investment. Even in the even in the three sectors model, even if four sector model you take, saving must be equal to investments.
So
Yeah.
So as you said that this government expenditure is generally funded by the taxes, so they will be equal. So savings will be eventually equal to investment.
But dear, practically, if you take, always the government budget is not the balanced budget. Not the balanced budget. If you see today, I mean, it is the government fiscal. You know the fiscal deficit of the government in the last year. It was around more than 9%. So if you take the practical one, so you cannot say that there is a balanced budget. If you take the balanced budget, then fine, T is equal to G, cancel out, then you can get the saving equal to investments, fine. It may be one of the case, but how can you interpret the general one?
Sir, but even if it does not have a balanced budget, the deficit in budget must be financed by the savings. So in a way, the government purchases should be funded by taxes and savings. So in that case, won't we get the equation?
So how can you just say that? How can you interpret this equation? Aswin?
Sir, we can interpret it by saying that the government purchases are funded by.
Your concept is right, but just add something, rearrange these equations, all of you. So the moment you are rearranging, so you can write like S, fine, plus T minus G, which is equal to I bar. Can we write it?
Yes.
Can we write this equation, dear? Okay. So here S, this S is known as saving by private sector, SP, saving by private sector. And T minus G, let us consider maybe in deficit. If T minus G, T is the receipt of the money, G is the expenditure. So receipt minus expenditure, it is known as the saving of the government. It may be positive, it may be negative, it may be zero. All the three conditions are possible. So SG is the saving of the government equal to investment I bar. So this, if you are adding it, it is nothing but it is a total saving of the economy, which includes saving by the private sector plus saving by the government sector, which is equal to total investment in the country. So even in three sectors model, we can say that even three sectors model, we can say that yes, at equilibrium, saving must be equal to investment. Therefore, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Can you try graphical representation? Graphical representation of this two sectors model. Please try, all of you. Like SKM model be explained by graph also. So please try to explain this model, this concept also by through the diagram. भव्या कहाँ चली गई थे?
The two sector or three sector?
Oh, sorry. The way we explain the two sectors model through the diagram. Same way you have to explain in three sectors model also. Same way. Please draw the diagram for three sectors model and explain that. Both. The first diagram, it should be AD equal to AS, and second diagram, saving must be equal to investments. This concept must be there.
So I had got disconnected, like the weather is really bad here, so that's why.
Want out. Sir, here we have like the same previous two sector model. We have that AS is upward sloping and AD is downward sloping. So at the point where they meet,
No.
we have
AD,
the
AD is downward sloping. Where you got it? AD is the downward sloping, dear. Still, we not completed the complete Keynesian model, including the everything. Then you will get the aggregate demand. Here, the normal aggregate demand we are discussing C plus I bar plus this in SC plus I, and now it's a IG. How you got the downward sloping aggregate demand curve? It is not the macroeconomics, dear. Concept was different. Here, concept is different.
Yes, sir, I got confused.
Just you think aggregate demand you are saying. So aggregate demand in simple Keynesian model, you have written C plus I bar. Take the example of simple Keynesian model. And C, already I discussed, it is equal to A plus BY. You remember? Which is plus I bar. Then we have discussed A plus I bar, which is a constant or given, plus BY. B is the MPC, where value of B is greater than 0, less than 1. So if you compare this equation with the straight line equation, so you are getting y equal to C plus mx. M is the slope of a straight line. Here M is the B, and which is positive, greater than 0, less than 1. And B is the slope of this line. It is upward sloping. How can you get the downward sloping, dear?
Yes, sir, upward sloping line. Very sorry. I just got confused for a bit.
No, I think you are not reading the previous classes, dear. You read it, and also you read your textbook also.
Okay, sir, I'll do that. And yes, sir, even after that, when I draw the diagram for savings and investment, we have autonomous investment or constant investment. So it will be a line parallel to the x-axis. So that I drew, sir, and savings should be upward sloping line.
But that diagram you have to change a little bit here. You need to change something here. You cannot draw like this saving and investment I bar. So here you take I bar plus G. You have to take I bar plus G and S plus T, because T is the, here we have assumed T is the given and G is also given.
So S and T are constant over here for now, sir.
हाँ, दोनों constant given है, इसलिए that is the reason I am telling you it's given now.
I was getting confused for that.
No. Here we have taken the the T is the tax is given here, and G is also given. We are not considered now G is the function of anything, and G is not the function of anything. I already discussed with you. G is the government decision. It is the policy decisions. AD simply it will be in three sectors model, it will be G. Here you take G, and in plus of I bar you have to take plus G also. Slope will remain same, only intercept will change according to the G amount. So normally you take the aggregate demand, simply say this AD represents the three sectors model, which is equal to C plus I bar plus G.
Sir, I have a question here. In the AD equation in the three sector model, shouldn't it be A plus B of Y minus T?
A plus B
into Y minus T and not just Y.
Where?
Sir, on the right, the second line.
Second line, A plus BY, it is for consumption, dear.
Yes, sir, but you also pay tax in the three sector model, right? So the tax will not be taken account over here.
But tax is the lump sum amount, no? You are paying that. You are saying now you can take it. No, later I will take it. That is a disposable income you are talking about. It should be Y minus T.
Yes, sir.
You want to say that. But even you take y minus t, okay, so t is the given amount now. T is the given amount. So even your increased income is not going to change your T amount, taxes. So hardly it will change.
Okay, sir. Understood. Yes.
Are you getting my point? Say, if suppose your this YD is the disposable income, which is equal to Y minus T. It is a fixed. So if the proportion of Y it keeps increasing, the YD will increase the same proportions.
Yes, sir.
If you take YD like this, YD which is equal to Y minus T, which is function of Y, that is a progressive taxes. If you are earning more, then you need to pay more. Then that it will be different here. Then concept will be changed, implication will be changed. Because increase in your income will also increase your tax amount. So your YD will not change as a proportion to change in Y. Okay. So when you're assuming T is given and G is given, you can just go through this. The concept and analysis and the result will not change. Unless you are not assuming that Y is the function of, T is the function of income. The moment you assume, it will change. Clear?
Understood. Yes, sir.
Later we will do that. I'm not saying that we will not do that, but you go step by step. Concept will not change. The result is not going to change because T you assume is a given, constant. Even sometime we are writing is T bar like this. We're writing it T bar like this. You can also write. Okay. So simply if you just go through this line, then you can get it here. And whatever things you are discussing, please try to draw the diagram. Without diagram, you will not get marks. Okay? Why not this part is taking here? So this will be equilibrium level of output. So even from these equations, you can write it here. Since you have written it AD equal to this one, so you can write at equilibrium Y equal to A plus I bar plus G plus BY. So rearrange it Y minus BY, which is equal to A plus I bar plus G. Then Y you can take common, 1 minus B, you can say A plus I bar plus G. So Y star equilibrium value should be equal to A plus I bar plus G divided by 1 minus B. So this will be equilibrium value. Even you can calculate. So if you are getting a consumption functions, you are getting the investment value, you are getting the government expenditure value. So you can calculate what should be the equilibrium value of output in this formula. Just make it equal, calculate it. And graphically in this way you can calculate, you can show that yes, this is the E is the equilibrium point where aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, and corresponding to this the equilibrium level of output is Y star. Clear? Now second diagram, if you want to just explain. So if you take here income, here take saving plus taxes plus G government expenditure. Here you take 0. So this line will represent your I bar plus G, and the saving line you are presenting here little bit. You have to change it just यहीं से कोई problem नहीं, you just यहीं से दिखा दो. It is equal to saving equals plus T, because saving you already knowing that it is equal to so intercept only will change, and at this point you can just say at y star we are saving. This equality is there, the first equation, this equality I was discussing with you. Yeah, these equations you can just show that yes, it is equal at this point. Little bit it will be right word, so accordingly you make the diagram. So in this way you represent yes, but interpretation when you are writing it, interpreting it, interpret in this way, please. This will be your interpretations. Yes, finally this equality here in second diagram, this equality in second diagram, basically it represents yes, saving is equal to investment. So in practically in this equation wise you have to rearrange it, and you have to say yes, is saving, total saving of the country, which includes the private saving plus government saving, which is equal to the investments. Okay, so this is the 3 sectors model, 2 sectors model. So we completed here, and investment multiplier we also completed. Okay, so just see this diagram and tell me any issue you have, or you want to ask anything, tell me. Always remember, you should connect your analysis, your derivations with the diagram. You have to link with the diagram. Without diagram, you are not going to get marks. Clear? You need to draw. Maybe if you're drawing wrong, so accordingly the marks will be deducted, but you need to draw the diagram. Because in first look, the examiner will see your diagram, and diagram will tell you really you have your concept is clear or not. Okay, and plus they will take the complementary analysis part, and they combinedly they can judge yes, your answer is correct or not, or your explanation is good or not. Clear, dear?
Yes, sir.
So second you do that, first you just draw the first diagram. All of you please draw the first diagram only now, and assume that government increase their expenditure by delta G amount. Again, my question is, let us consider that the government increase their expenditure by delta G amount. So please draw this diagram, the first diagram only you draw, and just do yourself some analysis and tell me what is the impact on income. Please draw all of you and just tell me.
Sir, I think income will increase.
Income will
Increase.
compare the increase in expenditure, government expenditure, increase in your income. What the result you are getting?
Increase in income would be greater than increase in government expenditure.
Okay, all of you are getting this result or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
So if you are getting this result, then what you are getting, if delta G amount, if government increasing their expenditure, then ultimately or eventually the total increase in your income will be delta Y amount. And delta Y amount, this increase in income will be higher than delta G amount. How much higher? So delta Y will be equal to, here you can write K times of delta G amount. And here K is known as multiplier. Since it is due to the expenditure, increase in the expenditure of the government, so it is known as the government expenditure multiplier. Government expenditure multiplier. And value will be same, K value will be same like the investment multiplier 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Same value. But here it is known as the government expenditure multiplier. Why? Because the income has increased due to increase in the government expenditure. But ultimately or eventually the income will increase multiple times of increase in government expenditure. And how much or how many times it's increased, it is known as the multiplier. And multiplier, since it is known as the government expenditure multiplier, and its value is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. Similar analysis, just like the investment multiplier. Take the first round. So first round, suppose government increase delta G amount expenditure. So due to increase in delta G amount of expenditure, how much aggregate demand will go up? Devangsi,
Delta
you
G
want to say
amount.
something?
No, sir.
अच्छा ठीक है बाबू देख लो. If government is increasing delta G amount in first round, then how much aggregate demand will go up? Anyone?
So delta G.
Same delta G amount. And as per Keynes, if aggregate demand increases delta G amount, then how much income will increase? Anyone?
Delta G.
Delta G amount. Fine. What will happen in the second round? So if there is increase in delta G amount, then consumption will go up. How much consumption will go up? To MPC times B into delta G amount. This much consumption will increase. Then again aggregate demand will increase the same time, same amount, B into delta G amount. And again income will increase, B into delta G amount. Third round, again consumption will increase, but this time how much?
B square delta G amount, sir.
Clear. BA square delta G amount. This much increase. Your aggregate demand again increase, BA square into delta G amount. Your income will increase, BA square into delta G amount. And this process will continue in the country. So total increase in Y income, finally total increase in income should be equal to first round delta G amount income has increased. Second round, B into delta G amount of income has increased. Third round, BA square delta G amount has increased, and this process will continue infinite. If you take delta G amount, then you are getting 1 plus B plus BA square like this into delta G and delta Y, and this sum is it's an infinite GP series. So the addition will be equal to 1 upon 1 minus B into delta G. And this 1 upon 1 minus B is known as government expenditure multiplier. Yes. So whatever amount government is spending in the country, you just get it कि yes, the overall increase in your income will be more than increase in your government expenditure, and it is known as the government expenditure multiplier. Multiplier value will change here. Then you are going to change the tax rate. You are with the moment you are assuming the tax is not lump sum amount or given. If it is a function of tax rate, that depending on the income, then this multiplier value will change. Similarly, it will change your investment multiplier also. But till here, we assume this is the autonomous investment and your taxes is given autonomous, which is known as the lump sum tax. T bar is known as the lump sum tax. Clear? देखो यहाँ तक clear है? Anything, any point you want to ask, or you are getting any problems? Please tell me.
Sir, so investment multiplier and government expenditure multiplier are the same.
Value is same, 1 upon 1 minus MPC. But by the if you take the concept, these two are different. Why? Because in first case, your income has increased multiple times due to increase in your investments. In this case, your income has increased multiple times due to increase in your government expenditure. So these two are different, but as far as value is concerned, multiplier value is concerned, it is same. It's depending on MPC, 1 upon 1 minus MPC.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Clear, dear? Hello? Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lucy?
Yes, sir.
So कुछ पूछना है यहाँ तक, ये बताओ. Okay, so let's just stop here. It is the policy which is formulated